Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to yet another episode of Doom Mod Madness. This time round, we're checking out Aliens TC. The TC stands, of course, for Total Conversion, and this right here is a little bit of Doom mod history. Aliens TC was in fact the very first Total Conversion mod released for Doom, and it was released way back in 1994, which makes this over 20 years old. That is utterly nuts. And if you haven't already noticed, this is heavily inspired by James Cameron's Aliens. What with all the pulse rifles and smart guns laying around, there's also acid suits. I have no idea if they actually help any, but we're going to put one on just for, giggles. This is in fact the second stage of Aliens TC. I'd normally go from the start, but the fact is that there's no aliens whatsoever to encounter in the first stage of Aliens TC, and for you humble viewers, it may in fact be boring as all balls. So instead, I've jumped to stage 2, Atmosphere Processor, and we're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna find some aliens, we're gonna find some Xenomorphs, and we're gonna show them that the human race ain't gonna put up with the terrible, terrible taste in interior decoration. Have you seen alien hives? They're terrible. Anyway, occasionally, as you just heard, Sergeant Apone, or at least audio clips of Sergeant Apone, will pipe into your ear, telling you to keep it moving. Finish your sweep. Reiterating that you're in fact a Marine. And, yeah, it's actually scarier than most of the encounters you come across in this mod, because you're walking down a hallway, you're pretty much okay with how things are going so far, and then all of a sudden, boom, Sergeant Apone, right down the ear canal. Anyway, we're gonna find our nearest, jeez. There's just like puke and everything on the walls. This is just terrible. You see what I mean about Xenomorph sense of interior decoration? It is absolutely awful. I mean, who put corpses in here? In all honesty though, this is pretty goddamn fantastic, especially when you stop to appreciate the little details, the little touches that make this all feel organic and squelchy and weird rather than just another standard Doom hallway. It's seriously impressive stuff, even more so when you take into account the age of the thing. Goddamn motion trackers. There's one noise that will never cease to put me on edge, and it's the sound of a motion tracker. The idea that something else is moving around here, and it's not you. But in either case, I think it's about time we actually rock and roll, because we got some Xenos! And man, the smart gun really does cut them to ribbons. It's a shame then that you don't really get much ammo for it. But yeah, when you actually come up against Xenos in Aliens TC, they're not really all that intimidating or scary. I think it's more, stuff like that. Stuff like that is more freaky, to be perfectly honest. You'll get these doors automatically opening and closing every now and again, and you'll hear them when you're in a different section of the map, and it will just freak you out. It'll just make you spin around and think, what the hell's behind me? You know there's nothing gonna pop out, but still, that is just friggin' freaky. I can imagine a few people might get a little irritated with the hive environment here though, and that's largely because after a while it does admittedly mush together into one great big green blob. Naturally that's going to lead to a lot of confusion, a lot of running around in circles, a lot of revisiting the same areas over and over, but in this context, with this particular Total Conversion mod, I think it works greatly in its favor, because what better way to put the player on edge, what better way to ambush them than to get them disorientated and to get them all turned around. And let's face it, this isn't meant to be friendly territory. This is Xenomorph home turf right here. And it's meant to rustle your jimmies just a teeny tiny bit. I always forget about that. I know that there's supposed to be Xenomorphs in the vents, but I always forget that they get activated by gunfire and just start scuttling around. Oh, good grief. You know how I mentioned earlier that the Xenomorphs themselves were probably the least scary thing about this mod? Yeah, that was total bullshit. Because they can just pop out of the goddamn walls when you least expect it and make you brown your pants like I just have now. Anyway, we're going to continue on with the objective here and hopefully find the yellow key so I can actually maybe complete this stage. And, yeah, I love it. I love it to bits. It's just super impressive to see something that's 2 decades old still be scary, still be atmospheric as hell. In fact, it reminds me quite a lot of the Alien Trilogy games back on the original PlayStation. And I was surprised to find out that those games were actually made about 2 years after this came out. And I'm thinking that this mod may have had a lot of influence on that Alien Trilogy game for the PlayStation. In fact, I put these kind of both on equal footing. This is clearly a kind of prototype, let's say, of that experience. Eat it! Anyway, we're getting out of this godforsaken place. We finally got our hands on the yellow keycard, which means we can wave goodbye to the spit-encrusted halls of the alien hive. And it's just a sight for sore eyes. I've never been so happy to see grey wall textures before. And before I leave this level, there's one more thing that I want to show you guys, and it's barrels. Now, I know a lot of you don't really pay much attention to barrels, but everything about Doom has taught me to believe that when I shoot barrels, they should explode. That is not the case here, because these barrels seem to be filled with poop. Now, that is a horrifying assumption for me to make, because I'm going to show you the floor. I don't know if you can see this, but the floor seems to be spackled in crap, which is just absolutely disgusting. So yeah, we're getting out of here. We are leaving this level, and hopefully moving on to a stage that is slightly more sanitary, because, damn. If I thought the Xenomorphs were disgusting, the colonists apparently seem to be storing their crap in barrels. So yeah, let's hit that button and get out of here. But this mod actually has, I think, 8 stages in total, which is pretty cool. Not to mention, it also has a secret stage littered in there somewhere, as well as 2 extra bonus stages, which you can access separate from the main campaign. So yeah, pretty fully featured. And also, there's another great little audio clip in here as well to announce the start of a new stage.
We are leaving!
This next map here is pretty damn cool as well. This is MedLab and Operations, and it's pretty cool because it replicates a moment from the film where you've got to seal off the access hatches to the area, otherwise aliens will just continue to pour through that hole, and you're going to run out of ammo long before the game runs out of Xenomorphs to chuck at your face. Yep, they just keep on coming. We're going to seal this door here and switch over to the grenade launcher to deal with these stragglers. There we go, much better. Much less Xenomorph screeching going on. But the thing that I enjoy the most about this is that they continue to respawn after you've closed the hatch, so you just get the hissing somewhere in the background, so you're always just looking over your shoulder anticipating another Xenomorph coming through the door. And in fact, there are multiple vents in this stage that you need to close over as well, so it just consistently keeps you on edge, keeps you tense, and it's just fantastic. It's a really wonderful piece of level design. It puts my more recent efforts to shame, and keep having to remind myself, this is 2 decades old. Are there any aliens down here? Yep, there's aliens down here. We're gonna seal this hatch. We don't want none of that. But yeah, if you'd like to experience a little bit of Doom modding history yourself, feel free to check out the link in the description below. There should be some instructions down there as well to help out if you're having a little trouble getting it running. Feel free to leave a like if you've enjoyed this video. Also, feel free to leave a comment if you'd like to suggest any future mods for me to add to the old Doom Mod Madness list. And if you're not subscribed already, well, go on, give it a go. There'll be more videos every week until I run out of Doom mods, and that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. This has been Mr. Icarus. Thank you very much for watching. Icarus out. Oh yeah, by the way, I can't believe I totally forgot to mention this during the entire course of the video, but you can totally punch the Alien Queen in the face with a power loader at the end of this mod campaign. You should totally play it. It is awesome.